Hello. So my name is Mark Merritt. I started the ZUSA School of Technology. It is a practical American technology education provider in the country of Zambia. We will soon be signing our first Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU as you know it, with Zambia College of Technology, or Zambia University College of Technology in Ndola. And some of the things that I want to teach for my curriculum are, again, it will be a practical technical education provider focusing on real-world scenarios. So there will be in-person classes with labs at the end of each module to do and apply the skills that you've learned. So, I work in the technology industry. I've been working in the technology for 27 years now, and more recently I've built some very large AI solutions. I work for a consulting company. We're a Microsoft partner. I do a lot of work in Azure and also Amazon AWS cloud provider. So, AI, as you all know, is a certainly the big topic of 2025 and 2024, in fact. And that is going to continue to be the case. Now, some of the things that I want to show you today go beyond large language models. Something that I'm really big on is something called developer augmentation. Well, what is developer augmentation? Developer augmentation is leveraging an AI tool like a large language model to be more productive for coding tasks, automation, writing unit tests, and so on. So, an application like ChatGPT, yes, you can plug in there, you can say, hey, write me this application to do X, Y, and Z, or you can have it access web-based things like web pages, read this information and summarize this into a document or a markdown file, etc. What I'm going to be showing today, is something created by Anthropic, the makers of Claude, that is called MCP, or Model Context Protocol. And Model Context Protocol is a fairly advanced topic in the world of AI today, but it is extremely powerful. And what it is when you have a large language model like ChatGPT, you are limited to what the parameters that the model contains itself. And sometimes these models will be able to search the web, or you can put documents in there and have it analyzed. But let's say, what if you wanted to access a facility or a resource like a database, for example, that an LLM would normally not have access to for very good reasons, security among them. So that is where MCP comes into play. MCP is a standard which allows a large language model to connect to local resources or resources that are secure, like a database, for example. So what I've designed here, I'm going to give you a little example of a simple MCP server. I call it the MCP Database Analyzer. It's a little tool written in TypeScript that I built. It allows you to connect to a SQL database using connection string, parameters, username, etc., etc. And I'm going to show you, this is currently hosted here in Microsoft Azure, Microsoft's cloud framework. And so I created something, it's a sample database based on the Microsoft SQL Server AdventureWorks database. So I've called it ZUSA ADVWorks. All right. Not a big SQL database. We can see that it's online. All right. So, couple things. Here I have something called dbeaver. It's an open source program for Mac OS in this case to view databases, Mongo databases, in this case SQL databases, right? So this is the AdventureWorks sample database. We'll pull down there. Okay, we have data, we have customer data, we have address data, customer address, probably a lookup table, etc., etc. All right. Now, how do I have my local language model access this? So that's a very good question. And the way you do it, again, is you use something called an MCP server. So the MCP server that I've built, to be loading it here, is MCP DB Analyzer. It's a TypeScript application, and the way that you build it is you clone my repository here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And this, by the way, is the Warp terminal. Very big on the Warp terminal. It's really good for developer augmentation. It has access to many different models. And among them, I like Claude Sonnet. It's one of the best. So I've already cloned my repository. going to use Node Package Manager to install any dependencies. Okay, done. Then we're going to build the server. Run build. All right. Now we have all our node modules here, and we've built our server. So, how do we connect that to a developer augmentation tool? We do that through a set of configuration parameters, which I'm going to cut and paste. And the Warp Terminal, among other things, which I like very much, has AI MCP support built in. All right. So we go over here to AI, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to see MCP servers. Now, to configure an MCP server, we give it a configuration. I know this is going rather fast, but I already have this cut and pasted. And by the way, these are all going to be changed before I publish the video, so don't try to hack my server. So among them, we see a typical database configuration. We have the catalog, which is the database name. We're encrypting the connection. Here's our host from Azure. Again, we'll go back to Azure here, and we'll see that here's our connection strings. The port is 1433 from Microsoft SQL Server. We're going to trust the certificate, and then we're going to, this is the database user that we're using to log on, and of course the password. We'll click save. Okay. Did I make a mistake? All right. Okay. So this is good. So this is a good example of how you can use something like the Warp Terminal. Okay. Please generate an MCP configuration in JSON for this MCP server. The database host name is, we'll give it a host name. Oh, I think I see my error. Alright, spell it correctly. Alright, now I'm going to pause the video for a moment while I do this, so you don't have to watch me do this. Alright folks, I'm back. Got my configuration set up. I had a typo in there. I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to click Save. And as you can see, right here, it says there are 10 tools available. Now, tools that are available for my LLM to leverage. Among them, you can see it executing query, non-query, which might be an update, for example, a stored procedure. You can list the tables, etc., etc. So, how do we use this? We use it using natural language, just like anything else, but as part of our developer augmentation process. So, we ask it a question. Please list all tables in my database using the DB Analyzer MCP server. And let's see if she connects. Alright, so it's asking, it says, hey, can I call this MCP tool? I'm going to say yes. Let's see. Okay, it found the right tool. There we go. It's connected to my database. Okay, so you can ask it other questions like this. Please list all foreign key constraints in the database. Oops, okay, should get that. Okay, so let's see what it does. Yep, the user wants to list all foreign key constraints, so now it's going to go and think about the tools that it wants to use. Execute query would be my choice. All right, so now it's done exactly that. It's done table by table analysis for a foreign key constraint. And a foreign key constraint is something that ties tables together in a relational database. For any people wondering what a foreign key constraint is. So let's ask it other questions. Please give me the list of the top 10 products. Oops. Execute query. There we go. So it's breaking us down by the top 10 products. It says, hey, I probably want to know about what the price is, the number of quantity, and the total revenue for all those products. So this is exactly what I want to see. And so you can do other things with an MCP server too. So for example, please prepare me a executive summary of what this database is and create a DB summary MD markdown file. Now it's going to go in and analyze the whole database. It's going to say, hey, what is the purpose of this database? It's going to look at different information. It's going to say, oh, okay, this might be like a sales catalog, etc., etc. So now it's going through and it's looking for multiple tools to use. Okay, it's thinking. Okay, it's choosing XQ query again. It's analyzing what's in these tables. It's looking at the data itself and the content of that data, what that data represents, products, customers, addresses, etc. So you can imagine that if you're working with a very large database and you are tasked with doing a database analysis, you want to find out where optimizations could be. So those could be stored procedures, those could be other things. And this is another example of where an MCP server really, really comes in handy. Okay, there we go. Outstanding. Close that. There's the summary that it's figured out. Okay, bicycle in manufacturing. Okay, didn't know that actually. So we're selling bicycles. Okay, so there's our quick summary in a markdown file. So you can see how much more productive building your own MCP server and how much time it will save you in manual process and just using automation for something like this using a large language model. So these are the things that I'm going to teach at ZUSA. If you like what you've seen so far, look me up on Facebook. I'm going to post a link to that in the content of this video, and also LinkedIn. It's very important. If you follow me on LinkedIn, it's great. Follow my updates. But if you like what you see and you want to get some good American education in AI, then keep following me. All right. Thanks for listening.